Hello everyone, welcome to Professional Training Academy, your own learning center. In today's video, we are now going to talk about the standard job description of a business analyst. Those who want to understand more as a business analyst, what are the key roles and responsibilities and how a business analyst job description or a role is defined. This video is definitely going to help you, right? So in this video, we will talk about the role of a business analyst. And when we are talking about the role of a business analyst, this is for those who are recently starting their career as a business analyst with couple of years of experience or with no experience on the business analyst. So when you join the organization, what is your typical roles and responsibility that you have to play, and what are some of the tools and technologies that you, if you are comfortable, would help you in do your day-to-day activities. So let's quickly look at that. But before that, let's try and understand quickly to summarize what is the actual role. When we talk about a business analyst, a part of business analysis group, what as a business analyst are you going to do, right? So let's quickly look at some of these important points. The entire business analysis team, and you will be a part of a BA team. You might work as an individual contributor to the project, or you may be a part of a team called business analysis team. The responsibility of you and your team is to gather and understand the business need. Very, very important. So you will talk, you will learn, and you will understand a lot about the business need and analyze the business process, support the design, and develop the IT system. So when we say develop, you help the team to complete the features that you want to build, the business need that you have. So overall, your goal is to satisfy the business need, make sure that the needs are properly addressed in the form of software application that we are going to build. Other than that, as a business analyst, you will always be working in collaboration with entire team. And when we talk about the entire team, they may be your clients, they may be your internal team, they may be cross-functional team, right? They may be developers, QA, all these people, you will work in collaboration with everyone to make sure that the business needs are addressed. The solutions are derived. And when you're deriving the solution, it is the optimal solution that as a business analyst, you have to propose and you have to recommend, right? And when we talk about a business analyst, what is a business analyst? The same point that I mentioned, that business analyst is a liaison between different stakeholders, and they act as a connector by working closely with domain expert to identify business requirement, understand business challenges, address usability concerns, suggest improvement, and document solutions. So if I talk about the overall business analysis value chain, the overall life cycle of your business analysis activities, right? You have to work on the requirement. You have to address the challenges that the business is facing and solve them. You have to understand the performance constraints, the usability point of view, right? You have to do recommend solution for improvement. And at the same time, you have to document solution also. So there are different activities that as a BA, you will be doing. These are some of the key or the primary responsibilities of a business analyst. Very, very important for all of us as business analysts. And you will be working with different stakeholders. So that is an understood concept. The stakeholder is a very broad term, right? Stakeholders would mean your client, your end users, your development team, your testing team, your leadership team, your own team, the entire team, right? And you are the connector. So if they are your stakeholders, you are in turn the stakeholder of each one of them. And it is your responsibility to make sure that how are you playing the role of a connector. The ultimate goal is to solve the business problem, right? And when you are a member of a BA team, when you are the business analyst, right, As a member of the BA team, you support the team throughout the project life cycle, right? And if you're working as a new junior BA, as I told you at the beginning of this, that this particular roles and responsibility, which we are going to talk about today in this slide, is mostly covered for the junior business analyst resources, those who are joining the business analysis practice, right? So you not only work as a BA for that particular team, help and work closely with each of the team. Also, there will be a lot of instructions, a lot of work that you will get from your senior BAs, your lead BA, right? So you have to help them, you have to support them in doing the documentation of business requirements, create the effective solutions, and all the other activities that you have to do just to make sure that business analysis activity is in progress. Now, to further understand this point, right, let's discuss on some of the key responsibilities as a business analyst. Again, on this slide, it does not sum up that these are the only activities that as a business analyst you have to do, right? But organization to organization, process to process, or the kind of project that you are going to work, the responsibilities might differ. But what is our goal to discuss the key responsibilities? That this is a very generic business analyst or a standard business analyst responsibility. And as a business analyst, most of these activities would be your primary activity when you are doing the business analysis role in an organization, right? It may be in a different domain, right? It may be a different kind of product or a project that you are working, but underlying roles and responsibility would be very close to what we are going to discuss one by one now, right? So if you see the first responsibility that is mentioned, that it starts with learning, right? Learn about the BA role and project life cycle, and applying knowledge and skills as obtained to successfully drive projects by a standard and consistent approach. Very, very important, right? As a BA, when you have been deployed to a project, you might not have that understanding of that project, of that domain, right? If you're a fresher, or if you're joining, you will not have any information around that. So you do not have to only work there and play the BA role. You also have to learn and consistently improve, right? The skill set that you have to implement that skill set. You have to enhance on your knowledge. You have to build your knowledge. Therefore, so that the project goal is achieved. It's very, very important point. Learning is a continuous activity for business analysts, and this is how we continually improve on our activities, right? The other important thing, very, very important for business analysts, and it has to do a lot with the requirements. As a business analyst, you will be doing a lot of activity on the requirement. And when we say requirement, it is represented via documentation, right? All the requirement that you gather, analyze, detailed, you have to create the appropriate business requirement documents, right? So when you are working in a project, you have to do the documentation support, create the document, whether it is a requirement gathering, gap analysis, it's a training document, it's a testing document, right? Some of the documents named standard document that as a business analyst you will be providing, creating a business requirement document, functional specification document. At the end of the project, you will create a user guide for everyone, for the users to refer to that guide and process accordingly, right? Use case diagrams, scenarios, and there are a lot of other things, right? So a good understanding and a good skill set on documentation is very, very important for us, for business analysts, right? We also do a lot on the project walkthrough, right? We will participate in the project walkthrough, in the business requirement gathering, design, functional test plan, user training and implementation, right? So we work with the requirement, we design solution, we make sure that the design is implemented, we do the testing, we help users to train on the function that we have built, and we do the implementation. The entire end-to-end activities of business analyst, right? You have to work a lot on gathering information. Whenever we are saying that requirement analysis, requirement gathering is very, very important for me, a lot of that depends on the way you are gathering the information, right? You will gather the information from multiple sources. You will reconcile the conflicts, make sure that the conflicts are removed, right? Make sure that the user request or the requirement that you are receiving from the clients are addressed. All the needs that has been shared is properly translated into requirement. That is very, very important activity. And all that happens when you have a good understanding on how do you gather requirement, how do you translate the information into requirements, conclude on the requirement, get a sign off on the requirement, right? Very, very important skill set for business analyst. Then there are a lot of reporting activity also we have to do, right? We have to gather data, talk to different people, right? At different stages of the product. We use different techniques like interview, when you're talking to one person or multiple people to gather more information, to help get the answers of the open question, to remove the conflict. We talk to different people, we interview them, we summarize them, right? We get a sign off on the requirement, right? Work on the design requirement and conduct specification. So a lot on the business requirement and how do we present that. Then there are a lot of other important skills that as a business analyst we should have in ourselves, right? This is related to some of the requirement design concept. For example, creating a use case diagram, preparing a flow chart diagram, data flow diagram, entity relationship diagram, all the different UML, right, unified modeling language diagram, we should be comfortable with. All that really helps. And it based on the nature of the project, accordingly, you have to create the one also. It helps you in translating all the needs into appropriate requirement. And it also translates your requirement into visualization. It's more of an design part, right? Act as a connector between internal and external technology personnel. So that is another responsibility or a very, very important skill set. You as a business analyst, you are the connector, you are the bridge between the internal and the external team. When we talk about the internal team, it's your IT development team, it's your team that is a part of your organization. Your external team would be your vendors, your clients, right? And you have to make sure that all the information that has to be passed through appropriately, information that has to be gathered, the work that we are doing together with different people, everything is managed well. It is the responsibility of the business analyst, right? Moving next, another important responsibility is to actively participate and assist in gathering a session for fundamental request precise to capture customer need. Very, very important. So we talked a lot about the requirement. Whenever you have to participate in a session, you might become a facilitator of the session. You just make sure that as a facilitator, you are playing your role when you are organizing a session for requirement analysis, right? Some other important thing, as I mentioned at the beginning, that there are a couple of tools that as a business analyst you should be comfortable with. This is going to help you to do your day-to-day activity effectively. Some of these are very, very important, right? All your Microsoft Office package, whether it is Word, Excel, PowerPoint, you should be comfortable with. Most of the requirements are requirement documentation, and the documentation is form of Word. So you should have good command over Word. Similarly, lot of presentation, whether it is requirement sign off, requirement workshop, discussing on a feature, presenting everything on what is the proposed solution, all that a lot has been done by PowerPoint presentation. So you should be comfortable in doing that also. If you're working on different methodology, right, there are different ways of managing the requirement. And one of the application where most of the agile projects are running is called Jira. And there are similar applications also like Rally and other system, right? You should be comfortable on that system. If you have to create requirements, you have to create user stories, you have to manage your entire requirement life cycle, you should be comfortable in all these tools. So Microsoft Office package, Microsoft Visio, Jira, Confluence, SharePoint, that all these are some of the very, very important tools that you as a business analyst should be comfortable. You should be able to manage everything there, right? Very important. So other than your requirement and documentation skills, a lot of tool experience is also important. And some of these tools that I mentioned, Microsoft Office package, Jira, Visio, SharePoint, Confluence, all these are very, very important for business analysts, right? Again, moving on, as a business analyst, you will be doing a lot of communication, right? When we say communication, it's a verbal, whether it's a verbal communication, a written communication, you will be doing a lot on that. And how you effectively manage the communication between your different stakeholders, with what stakeholder, what is the level of communication that you have to do, is very, very important. And that defines the success criteria of the project also. The more effective communication you are able to do that, the project is progressing in the right direction. A lot of things will be clarified, right? It is going to save a lot on the project time, cost, budget, and everything, right? Next, as a business analyst, you should have the clarity on accuracy of the deliverables that is on you, right? If it's a business requirement document, which will list all the requirement, it's your deliverable. If you do not have a clarity and you are not preparing the business requirement document the way it should be, the project is going to suffer, right? Most of the problem that we see in the project at later phases is because of the requirement not captured appropriately. So your clarity on your deliverable is very, very important. It's a must skill for each of the business analysts to acquire. Okay. Next is you have to do a lot on the testing part also. You will complete the requirement, the development will happen, the testing team will test and validate that the features are developed as per the requirements defined. But at certain points of time as a business analyst, you also have to do a lot of testing, and not just hands-on testing. The QA team will prepare the test plan and they will come to you so that you review and provide your comment and provide a sign off that all the test cases are going to cover the scope of the testing, right? At a later point, when you are doing the user acceptance testing, you might have to do hands-on execution of the functionality to make sure that all the feature is working fine before we move that item into production. Very, very important. So a lot on experience on test cases, writing test cases, reviewing test cases, understanding test plan, defining entire test plan is very, very important for business analysts. You have to gather this information, even though you will not work as a full-time tester, a part of QA team, but a clarity on that is really going to help you a lot, right? And then a lot of underlying competencies as a business analyst is very, very important. Your communication skill set, your interpersonal skill set, your coordination and collaboration skill. It is a must for all the business analysts to understand the business analyst core competencies, the competency that you need to have. You need to have excel in communication skill, both verbal and written. Interpersonal skills you have to improve, your communication, your collaboration skills and coordination skills with everyone. Working as a team environment, providing the facilitation skill set is very, very important. At the same time, a good understanding on the BA tools and technologies is also very, very important, right? So these are some of the very important things as a business analyst when you are gathering more information on your key responsibilities. Some of these are the important responsibility that as a business analyst you should improve on that, right? It will help you to do your work effectively, right? Yeah, so we will stop here, but you can always reach out to us if you want to learn more about our business analysis program, business analysis training program, business analysis counseling and project support activities. Feel free to reach out to us. Thank you very much. Bye.